Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon or good evening depending on when and where you are watching this, and welcome back to the Knit Crochet Read Repeat podcast. My name is Kirsty, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm coming to you from a rather wet Paisley, which is just a stone's throw away from Glasgow in Scotland. So hello, welcome. It's been a while since I put a proper podcast episode out. Proper podcast, that's a bit of a slight tongue twister. I'm going to record each of my crafts in separate videos. I've got knitting, I've got crochet, I've got cross stitch, and I even have spinning. So watch out for each of those videos for whichever one takes your fancy. I know not everyone cares for spinning and not everyone cares for cross stitch, but these are all my crafts and they all make me happy. So this episode, well, I guess you could call it an episode. This video is going to be for the knitting, and I have quite a bit to show off. I don't want to say this month because I don't want to do like a monthly recording, but we'll see how things go and we'll just play it by ear as it goes along. But for this video, I do have quite a bit of knitting to show off. We're going to start with some finished objects, which is brilliant. Like, I don't normally have so many finished objects, but it has been a while since I have recorded and I've put some good amount of time into some certain projects. So first off, nothing special at all. I've got some washcloths that I've been working on. I do have another one. I have another orange one off to the side I forgot to pick up. So I got this red one, a dusty pink, two of the yellow and white, and this orange one. These are all made with sugar and cream. And this is yarn I've had in my stash for a while. The yellow is one ball. The two orange ones were another one, and then the pink and the red were leftovers from the last time I made I keep wanting to say dishcloths, but to me they're not dishcloths, they're washcloths, because I use them in the shower. In the orange, I still have a bit left over. Let me grab my scales really quickly. Let's see. So the balls of sugar and cream are 70.9 grams. And I have 17.6 grams left in this orange. Now, for the orange ones, I made one on a 4.5mm needle, and then I made one on a 5mm needle, and I have this much left over. Whereas I made both the yellow and white on 5mm, and I only have this much yarn left over. So that is something to bear in mind, is you could probably get 2.5 or close to 3 if you stayed on a 4.5mm needle, but when you move up to a 5, you use up quite a bit more yarn. And the whole mission for me doing this is 2 reasons. I need to replace some of my washcloths. One of them in particular is actually broken and it's got a hole in it, and I can't be bothered mending it. I'm going to be perfectly honest, I cannot be bothered mending them. These are washcloths I made when I moved in here, and we've been in this premises now for 4 years. And so it's about time I freshen up my washcloths. And so I'm just using up what I have, and I'm going to work through like my scraps. I'm going to make some scrappy ones and see if I can use all of this up. And then in my bag, I've got 3 more full balls of the sugar and cream to use up. And I am using my Prim ergonomic needles. These are meant to be really, really good on your hands. I don't think I fall into that demographic of being able to use ergonomic stuff because I have been getting really bad pins and needles thanks to my carpal tunnel. So typical that the stuff that's meant to help is not helping me currently because it's like super flared up. So I'm really, really happy with that. I started making these on Thursday. Yep, Thursday evening I started this, and then I just made a bunch over the weekend, and I will keep going, but I'm kind of moving between projects at the moment trying to get things done. So 6 new washcloths. Every single one still needs its ends woven in, but are we even remotely surprised since it's me? Weaving in ends is not something I do very often, and I will have a whole video to show that. Basically, I found a lot of projects the other day when I was sorting through my stuff. Not one of them has its ends woven in. Okay, so the next project. Okay, so first of all, actually, the washcloth pattern I was using. Why is it not coming up on my iPad? There it is. Oh no, I was on a website. Let's see if I can do this real quick. Of course, I'm not logged in. Patterns. What you've looked at recently. So it's just the basic knitted dishcloth by Jane Lake that I've been using. If you cannot use Ravelry, look away. But this is the pattern page. All links will be in the description box below. This is a free pattern. It does take you to their website, and it's a very simple pattern. There are so many dishcloth or washcloth patterns out there. This is just the one I happened to find quickly to get the numbers. I've made washcloths before. I do have patterns printed out somewhere, but I needed it in a hurry to get to my craft group that night, and so I just found a freebie on Ravelry that I could use whilst I was on my phone, rather than kind of hunting for a pattern that I knew I had, I just didn't know where it was. So the next one, the next finished object I have to show off, still does need blocked, and I'm really, really happy with this pattern. So for this, I am using yarn that I spun myself. This is my first hand spun project. It's not socks. I've done socks with hand spun yarn, but I don't think I've done anything else, and here it is. So quite big, lovely long scarf, and this is the Perennial by Lisa K. Ross, and it's one section repeat short of the pattern. And looking at the yarn I have left, I could have maybe got away with putting that extra one in. And I need to look back in my photos because I was kind of recording the yarn usage per repeat. And I'm curious to see if I could have got away with putting another repeat in, because if I can, so I got 15.2 grams of yarn left. And I've got a feeling that's not actually, I think I needed like 16 grams of yarn per repeat, or 16.2 or 3, maybe 5. So doing the quick check there on my scales, I don't think I would have had enough to do a repeat after all. But I really do love this project. And I love the way how sometimes with the stripes of the yarn, how it's worked up, because you work several rows below for this pattern right here, and sometimes the yarn is a different colour. There are other times where it is the same colour, but it still looks lovely. Like, it's such an interesting detail. So I still need to block this, as I've said, and I do think I will not aggressively block it, but almost. Not aggressive, just slightly aggressive. Just to see if I can get it to grow a bit more, because there's a lot of garter stitch in here, and garter stitch does grow, but I'm also just not sure how the yarn is going to react, because it does stretch a fair bit, but I also don't want to take away from the width too much. Like, I quite like the width of this project. So we'll see how much it will grow by, and then I will be popping this in my finished project area, and we'll see if I'm either going to gift it to someone or whether this will be my new scarf come winter. So my next work in progress, just because it is right in front of me, is my sock from my Fantasy Fibres Yarn Club from Lisa of For the Love of Yarn. This colorway this month is called Red Moon, and I am slowly releasing the unboxing videos of these yarns. I didn't want to post them as I got them, because then someone that might also be buying them would get a spoiler. So you will eventually see the unboxing video for Red Moon, but this is my second sock. The first one I did actually leave upstairs in my office, and I'm not going back upstairs for it. But this is sock number 2, and each sock in this yarn club for the year is going to be made exactly the same. I do 15 rounds of 2x2 ribbing, and then I do 70 rounds. Do I do 70 rounds? I'm doubting myself now. I haven't had to run the numbers in a while. I'm sure it's 70. I'm not going to do a quick count. I estimate it's 70. And then I do 20 rounds of the heel flap. Then I do the turn, and I decrease down back to my original stitch count, which is 68. And that normally takes me 30 rounds. From picking up to full decreases is 30 rounds. And then I work until I have completed 88 rounds, and then I do my toe. So I do have quite large feet. I have a UK size 9, and so that's why I have so many rows. And I decided I wanted to really take the time. I know that this is going to sound absolutely outrageous, but I decided to really take the time to figure out a fit that really works for me, instead of just kind of being like, okay, I'm done with the knitting, like, I'm done, just put the toe in. And then it's like 1 or 2 rows short, and so it's just a little bit too snug. And so this is the perfect size for me. But I've also decided to do the whole month this way, because I don't have a lot of socks with a long leg. Normally my sock would be here, which is almost half of what I've knit here. And so I'm doing 12 pairs this long for this one, just so I have a nice variation. And then my next lot of socks will probably all be ankle socks, because I don't have very many of those. But yeah, this yarn is absolutely lovely. I really like the colour this month, and it works up really beautiful as well. I think this is my second last knitting project. And let me get the details for this one, because this is for a knit along. Dum, da, dum. Okay, so the original pattern is the Abacus Cowl by Dynasty Designs, and I have slightly, more than slightly, modified the pattern. So this pattern is for a knit along that is being ran between the designer, which is Dynasty Designs, and my friend Jessica, who is Knit Life Army Life. Or is it Army Life Knit Life? I get it around the wrong way each time. I'm so sorry, Jessica. I think it's Army Life Knit Life. Can I get into Instagram really quickly? Oh, I don't like Instagram on my iPad. Army Wife Knitting Life on Instagram, and they did have their own podcast, but they've recently joined up with one of their friends, and I don't remember the name of their new podcast because it's a very, very long name. But I have decided to use mini skeins from Dyed in the Wool. These are 20 gram mini skeins that I'm just trying to pick up. And they're not quite the Pride colours. So first of all, they're neon, which I don't care. But I don't have red, I have pink. So that's the first thing to bear in mind, is that it's not quite the correct Pride colours, but it's almost. It's nearly. It counts. And the original pattern is written for worsted weight yarn. I am doing DK. It is also written to be a single one, just slap over cowl. I am doing a double loop cowl, so I've significantly increased my stitch count. And I'm kind of following the chart for the Pride colours, but like I said, I don't have red, I only have pink. But this is what I have so far. I finished the yellow section last night, and then I stopped working on it because it was going into the baubles, and I didn't want to read on my Kindle and try and figure out the baubles. So, but this is for, where'd my files go? This is for the Pride Counts cowl, and this is, so I'm going to backtrack to Jessica's podcast. The original podcast is two sticks and string, but again, she's recently just combined podcasts with one of her friends. So if you put in the search bar two sticks and string podcast, you will be able to find her original channel, and then she has put a video up saying where her new channel is going to be. But this is, the knit along is the Pride Counts cowl, because we are in Pride month. Happy Pride, everybody. If you are against Pride or you're homophobic in any way, you can bugger off. I don't want you on this channel. I am non-binary and therefore part of the community, but even if I wasn't, I would still be an ally. I don't want to show the charts. How do I make that bit go away? Okay, I don't know how to make that bit go away. But this is the Pride Counts cowl. And so I am making mine. So like I say, the next row has baubles, and I will be working on those today. And then I will be introducing my next colour. But I'm going to be curious to see if anyone else is working with neon colours. They just make me so happy. Like, I am a big goth at heart, but I freaking love neon. I messed up once, where's the end of the row, with my bauble. This little one here, it's not quite a bauble. and I just missed a row. That's all it is I just missed a row, and I was too far gone to want to go back and fix it. And really it's at the back of the cowl as well, and so no one's going to see it, no one's going to know it's there, and I'm not bothered enough to rip back now and fix it. But I think this is going to look really, really lovely and be such a nice addition come winter. My neutral yarn that I am using does have a slight sparkle in it. Not sure if the camera's picking that up too well. This is undyed yarn back from when I was dyeing yarn, and I just haven't used it. This was originally in a pattern, like this had all been knitted up, this yarn, and that was for a test knit that I ended up frogging completely. And so I never did soak the yarn afterwards, so I'm just using it as is. But I really like it. It's really quite soft. But every now and again you do feel that little bit of the sparkle, which not too keen on, but I don't detest enough to stop the project. All my little mini balls are unraveling. And talking of my little mini fun coloured balls of yarn, these are from Dyed in the Wool. I bought these a while ago. This was a commission, really. I put out a call on Instagram to see if anyone had neon DK weight yarns, and at that point I was only looking for 20 grams. Sorry, I've sure moved that camera. At the point I was only looking at 20 grams of each colour, and Ellie came through for me and she was just like, I can do you that. And I ended up not using them for the project I had in mind, and so it's really great to be able to use these now. Although I'm not using the full 20 grams. So let's see, how much am I using, or how much have I got left? Ooh, just under 10 grams. So I've got 9.6 grams, and that's of the orange. Let's see if that's the same across the board. It should be. Okay, so I got 9.1 on the yellow. Where's my pink? 9.3 on the pink. So they're all coming in slightly different, which you would expect. I also don't always use the same amount at the end and the beginning when I'm joining. And you also just kind of expect mini skeins to be ever so slightly different in weight. I mean, this purple one, which has not been used yet, is coming in at 20.9. And then let's do the blue really quickly, if I can get it all wound back up. So the blue is coming in at 20.8. And the green is coming in the most at 21.1. So yeah, you do kind of expect minis to be a little bit differently if either they've been hand wound by the dyer, or even sometimes just at the company where the yarn is purchased from. Sometimes it can be a bit off. I'm not complaining. But yeah, I'm sorry, those colours just make me very happy. Okay, last knitted project, and this is the Rauli shawl. This is a 2-colour brioche shawl, and let me get the name of the designer really quickly. This is by Marie-Amélie Designs. This project has been on the needles for a while now, and I am trying my best. I'm not going to say my hardest, because I could be working a bit harder on these projects if I put my mind to it. I am trying my best to make progress in all of my projects. There are some that I have not touched and I don't plan on touching don't plan on touching them until other projects are completed, but I am trying my best. That is all I can do to get through some of these projects that have been not standing, but they've been on the go for a while. So I didn't really do a full repeat because I was about, so you can see this dark strand of wool here. This is my safety line, where I could rip back if I had to and pick up easily the stitches, because I haven't quite learned how to fix brioche, and there is a mistake in the last section. So I think I was around here, so just a couple of rows up when I picked this up, and I have completed the full section now. And so I need to put in another lifeline. I called it a safety line earlier. It's technically a lifeline, but you get my gist. And we're on the decrease now. It should go a wee bit quicker. Fingers crossed. I can only work on this project when I'm not around people. I don't have to pay attention to anything, so I couldn't have a TV program on or a movie I've not seen like a bazillion times. So this is a peace and quiet project, nothing on, nobody to talk to, just so I can pay attention, because I'm constantly counting, I'm constantly rechecking this project, and I wonder if I can find my mistake. I did make a mistake on this when I was working on it. It'll be great if I can. It was just glaringly obvious at the time. Oh, there it is. So, right here. I made a mistake right there. And I just had one too many yarn overs in a brioche knit yarn over brioche knit stitch. I had too many stitches, and instead of going back 2 rows, I just fudged it and got it to work for me the best I could. And see, at a glance, you wouldn't notice. If I hadn't pointed that out, you probably would never have found it. But I share mistakes because we are only human. We make mistakes. This is not a perfectionist craft. The yarns that I am working with, this one, the dyer is no longer. This is a Queen of Pearls yarn, and it is gorgeous. A lot of people would say that green and gold don't really go together. I beg to differ. And then this one here is from Woo Sheeps, and this one has a sparkle. I'm hoping that comes up on camera. I can see it on my screen, doesn't mean it will come across properly. And I just think the two of these together look really, really good. Also, at the time, these were the only yarns that I had that were like 150 grams, and you need quite a bit of yarn for this project. To the point where I'm kind of like, is this going to be enough to finish it? Where's my scales? Let's see, how much do I have left? I don't think I've weighed this much yarn in so long. I've got 53.8 of the gold and 58.2 of the green. So here's hoping. We are past the midway point, but this was the midway point. We've done 3 sections, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sections in the first half. So I've got 6 sections to go, but we are decreasing each time. So here's hoping. I think the gold side, you see it better on the gold side. Here's hoping I have enough yarn. I'll be really gutted if I don't, because I could buy the Woo Sheeps again. I can't buy the Queen of Pearls again. yeah, that is all for the knitting for this episode, for this video. Thank you so much for joining me, and until the next knitting video, please do stay safe. And yeah, well, let me know in the comments down below, what are you knitting on just now? Do you have plans to cast on anything new? I want new stuff, but I feel like the dishcloths were enough for me just now to be like, I'm good. I can cast on one of them if I need a new project. They're very quick. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, please do stay safe. Bye.